Chances are, if you have a business, you need a website. It was that simple logic that had me starting my own business back in 2002. And websites have been through a lot in that time. Fixed width, bloated page counts, complicated drop-down menus, flash intros. I'm not gonna lie, it's been a rough road for the web. I mean, 10 years ago, Wired magazine said the web is dead. Whoever wrote that cover is probably suffering from acute moron syndrome. If you're new here, you can check out my 1-minute backstory linked in the description of this video. And though times have been tough for the web, it's still kicking and screaming today. Dare I say, thriving. So let's chat about what you need to do to put your best foot forward on the World Wide Web. Okay, let's get some definitions on the table. HTTP.
What'd you just say?
I'm kidding. Nobody cares about that. Let's skip the definitions. I don't want to lose those ADD viewers, which is probably all of us these days. The fact is, your business needs a website, and without one, you're still fledgling along in wantrepreneur land. And with one, you actually stand a chance. Fortunately, I have professionally reviewed a website or 1,000. And man, I have seen some crap. Some were just hard to look at. But first tip, don't overcomplicate it. If content is king, let simplicity be queen. If you're a new business, you probably don't need more than 5 to 7 well thought out pages. Keep it simple. Sure, there are exceptions to the rule, but your future success does not depend on your website's page count. You want quality over quantity, and that goes for content and page count. And I want you to look at your website with a fresh pair of eyes. Pretend you are your customer, your new potential customer. They need to know who you are and what you do within seconds of landing. I've often said your landing page's job is to capture their attention inside of 7 seconds, well enough to buy another 2 minutes from them. That's your goal. If I pull up your website, you've got 7 seconds to buy more time from me, or I'm clicking elsewhere.
No! No! God, please, no! No!
So I better know exactly what it is you do, like super fast. Above the fold. Now, above the fold means what I see before scrolling. That's the real estate that deserves some extra focus from you. And make sure you're testing this on a phone. The majority of your website traffic is likely to be mobile, so while you may be working on your site on a desktop, make sure you are testing your site on a mobile device. If you're selling product, there should be items for sale on your homepage, like a homepage category of great looking stuff that entices me to buy or stick around a little longer. If you're selling consulting or software, I should see a benefit or a testimonial real early on in the flow. You need to establish credibility as fast as possible. Links to 20-page white papers and paragraphs chock full of business jargon need to be put on the back burner, if not in the trash. What do you actually do? Can I trust you? Have you been featured on TV or in a magazine? Has anyone ever said anything nice about you? If so, that should be seen early on. When it comes to company culture and about us content, try and skip the stock photography. So much of the world is fake these days, so please try and stay real. Real pics of your team or leadership or you. At least 75% of the stock photos littering websites all over cyberspace should be removed. If you're not in travel and leisure, those pics are telling a real story. So skip the fake offices or the fake team or the classic shaking hands photo of 2 diverse people that were handpicked from some modeling agency. Enough already. Your web user is 10 times smarter than they were 10 years ago and about 100 times smarter than they were 20 years ago. So what can you tell them in short time that builds trust and engagement between them and you? Okay, let's talk about call to action. If this concept isn't top of mind, put it there. What do you want out of your visitor? Is it a phone call? Is it a contact form submission, a product sale, a software demo or trial? What do you want from them? And what are you doing to yield that result? A website that just has several pages of information is just a worthless brochure-ware website. I might as well just read a trifold pamphlet that is void of any contact information. But a website that dictates the visitor's click path ultimately to the company's goal and call to action, now that's a website. Also, you need to consider the language you are using.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
You need to speak the customer's language, not necessarily your language or industry insider language. Each industry is different, but oftentimes there is some degree of customer education that needs to happen. And if you've been in your industry for more than a few years, you probably don't even realize the amount of industry jargon and acronyms in your normal speech. So when you're writing content for the site, you may need to rewind your brain back to a newbie so you can make sure you and your new customer are on the same page. Again, over and over again, you need to put yourself in your customer's shoes. What do they need to see? What do they need to read? They don't need to read about how awesome you are. They need to read about how you're going to help them. Testimonials, short case studies, your customer has a problem and they are looking for a solution. Make sure they understand that you are there to help them. As for where to get this website started, I'm a big fan of the off-the-shelf products that are cheap, easy, and click and drag based. Tech ninjas call that WYSIWYG. But like you, if I go around speaking industry insider language, not everyone will understand what I'm saying. But template-based click and drag, everyone understands that. And there are plenty of website builder programs out there that can do that. Wix, Weebly, GoDaddy, Squarespace, Shopify, WordPress. For most of you, there's no need to dive into the world of custom development right off the bat, or hiring some overpriced marketing agency that will build you an experience. Wait till the funds are there, or the demand is there, and the revenue growth is there to start looking for more expensive solutions. Now, a couple things to look for. Make sure you have access to analytics so you can see what your traffic is doing and where they're coming from. Since your website is an investment, you need to be able to analyze the progress and make sure it's delivering the results that you're going for. Good site analytics will make this much easier. Now, I'm not going to get deep into SEO in this video, but you can lay some SEO groundwork with just a little bit of thought. Page titles, paragraph headings, your domain name, the page file names. Just think of all the phrases your user base will be searching and make sure to include those words and phrases in your content. Google places websites in high ranking when their robots determine a given URL is an authority on a given search phrase. So how will they know you're an authority if all those critical search phrases aren't included in your content? And give those robots some relevant content to sniff. Text in an image smells of odorless iocane powder to a search engine, but any text you can highlight and copy from your website is that of roses and chocolate-covered strawberries. You need a content balance. Yes, you need some imagery, but you need some content that can be sniffed and read by robots. Ultimately, you're crafting your website for two audiences, your potential customer and Google. And please don't make it hard to contact you. There are still people out there that want to talk on the phone. I'm not one of them, but I'm probably not normal. Consider having your phone number in the header, maybe next to the Contact Us link. Now here's a secret you're not going to get from too many places, but since it's just you and I'll tell you. Browse your own website every week. Sounds simple, right? In fact, so simple you're probably willing to promise me that you will browse your own website every week. But watch, you won't do it.
What does that do? Did that blow your mind? That just happened.
You'll launch that thing and it'll be your new best friend or your favorite pet for like 2 weeks tops. Then your entrepreneurial laser-like focus will move on and you'll forget all about it. And then what will seem like just weeks later, when it's actually 6 months have gone by, you'll accidentally stumble across your own website and you'll be like, wow, that's not our phone number anymore, and the address is wrong, and that dude doesn't even work here anymore. 9 times out of 10, companies launch their website and then forget all about it, and it grows weeds, cobwebs, and out-of-date dust mites. Please don't do this. The only way to make sure your website is relevant and current is for you to browse it every week. Now quickly, I want to help you avoid a couple common pitfalls. If you're having someone else build the site for you, under no circumstance do you host your website with the person that is building your website. If they're helping you set it up on a third-party host like WordPress or Shopify, that's one thing. But your site should not be hosted with some web designer that's helping you build it. If there's ever a dispute down the road, they can turn it off and they'll have leverage over you.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
For main content, black on white is easy to read. White on black is not. Maybe try medium to dark gray text on a light background for main content. Make sure your stuff is easy to read and pleasing to the eye. Never, and I mean never, ever,
Don't ever
write under construction on a page in lieu of actual content. Displaying under construction is not a good idea for about 1,000 reasons. There's no time to go through all 1,000, but here's a couple. It could mean that you published unfinished work for the entire world to see. Or it could mean you don't actually have a plan. Or it could mean you're stuck in 1999 and can't find your way out. If so, call up AOL and sign up for dial-up service. Furthermore, writing coming soon in lieu of actual content is just as bad as under construction. All it does is make you look unprofessional. If content is coming soon, then just don't mention it until it's published. Or how about this? Work on it and finish it. And lastly, while I'm not going to dive into color palettes and brand guides here, try to have some color and font consistency. Using all kinds of colors on varying size text written in multiple font styles should only be the product of someone under the influence of heavy narcotics. And that's still not an acceptable excuse. Frankly, there are no excuses for this behavior. Maybe you'll have some title headings that are in a different font than your copy, but other than that, keep it simple and consistent. If you start using 5 or 6 different fonts, and your precious website is going to look ugly as sin. Alright, that about covers the super high level basics. I put a short list in the description of this video to help you remember what was mentioned here. I urge you to take these items seriously, and I do hope this helps you. If you have any questions about any of this, don't hesitate to ask it in the comments below. And if you got value out of this, punch like, subscribe, and ring that bell for me. That helps me out tremendously. Thanks for watching, y'all.